Today, I'm going to talk about an issue that has been in the press or online for a while now. And, I'm going to do it without mentioning the name of the program or the actors because I don't want to provide any further promotion of this program. But what really inspired me to do this video is I saw another video by a YouTuber that I check out every now and then. I like his work. But he did a video basically supporting this reality star who put out a sex tape. And, I just thought that I would do this video, not so much as a response, but just a reflection on some of the things that he said in his video. And actually, it goes a little bit beyond what he was talking about. But my point is simple. When you lose your moral compass, you plunge yourself into the depths of darkness. You are without guidance. You are blind, deaf, and dumb, and ignorant. When somebody doesn't have knowledge or understanding, when they lose their moral sense of direction, they lose what makes them human. They lose what makes them civilized, and they become uncivilized, and they become a savage. And that's what has happened in the American society. This society is morally bankrupt and degenerate. And this program, this show, is an example of that. It's a show that celebrates stupidity, celebrates debauchery, celebrates negativity, and foul living and bad morals. And this recent release of this sex tape is an example of how far these programs have gone, how far lost they are, how far gone they are. And the bad thing about it is, our people consume this stuff. We watch these programs, and these programs basically amount to Channel Zero. Years ago, Public Enemy did a song called Channel Zero about worthless programs that drain the consciousness of the people, that take away the understanding of the people. And that's what you have today. I mean, you have these shows like, I'm not going to say the name again, but you have these hip hop programs that don't promote anything positive. All they do is promote a negative image of black men and women. They paint the women as being loud and boisterous, behaving in an unladylike fashion, behaving like animals. That's the image that's projected for the world to consume. And then you have the image of the no good black man, womanizing, treating his women like trash. That's the image that we see today. And, there was a time when you had quality programs on television. You had The Cosby Show, and you even had Good Times. Images of strong black families. One family was professional and the other family was in the hood. But regardless of that, you still had a strong black family. You had a strong father who did what men do, protect and maintain in both of those households. And you had family life being promoted on television. But instead of family life being promoted on television today, you have, the player mentality being presented as the norm. You can't build a family or a community when the men are the pimps and the women are the prostitutes, basically. And that's the kind of image that these shows put out here. And to make matters worse, you have this older woman who basically sold her soul for riches and fame. This woman is a mother, and this woman just had no regard for herself. And, this isn't just a black issue or anything. It's not solely a black issue because you've had others that do this. They release these sex tapes. They sell their souls for fame and fortune. Is anything sacred anymore? Is anything private anymore? It's like people have lost their sense of shame and their sense of self-dignity and respect. And it's a shame that we live in such a time when this has become the new normal, where releasing these kind of tapes are seen as a vehicle to launch someone's career. We have this woman, this Kim Kardashian, who has no talent. And this is another example. This woman has no talent. She's not a singer. She's not some spectacular actor. She's just a reality star whose whole career was launched off of a sex tape. That is her claim to fame. And so you have these misguided people following her example, thinking that if they can, you know, sell their souls and their bodies, then they can become rich and famous too. Sex is supposed to be a sacred act. It's not supposed to be something that's paraded around for the world to watch. I mean, does this woman think about her daughter and her family? Man, obviously, it's going to affect her family. The reputation of her is going to impact her children. I mean, imagine going to school and everybody in class is talking about how they saw your mother on a sex tape and they're telling jokes. We know how kids are. We know how cruel kids can be. So, I mean, why would somebody do something so selfish like that, just for fame, just for fortune? I mean, when you do stuff like that, when you sell your body out like that, you're no different from a streetwalker, a common prostitute who has put a price tag on her body. But that's where we've come as a society. I mean, it's like we no longer value substance. We value, instant gratification and drama. It's no coincidence that, one of the most popular shows on television is about a woman who runs around with a married man, and it's a black woman at that. There was a time, as I said earlier, when, a black family sitcom was one of the most popular shows on television. But we don't see the image of the family now. We don't see strong black families on television nowadays. All we see is chaos and mayhem. And, it's important to understand that these movies and films and television shows, they shape our consciousness. They shape our views of the world. They have an impact on how we see things. And when we're fed garbage like this hip hop program, when we're fed that kind of garbage, it affects our consciousness and it affects our behavior at the end of the day. So we really need to stop supporting these programs. We really need to stop promoting these programs. You know, these programs are like the new millennial minstrel shows. That's what they are. And we shouldn't support them. We shouldn't support websites that promote violence. You know, websites that, you know, show videos of black people fighting and acting like animals. You know, show the most degrading images of us. We need to stand up against that nonsense. We must stand up. You know, nowadays they don't have Birth of a Nation on television. They have reality shows that depict us as hoes and crazy people. So it's time for us to stand up and speak out against this stuff. It's time for us to demand respect, and respect starts with self. We have to stop consuming this nonsense.